All right, welcome to the Social Media for Real Estate Agents podcast, where we find rock stars in social media and we get them to show us realtors how we can use social media to increase our business. I'm Khalid Aleem, licensed real estate agent in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Now, today's guest, we have a special guest all the way from Tallahassee, Florida, LaTasha McDowell of the Luxury Life Real Estate firm. How are you, LaTasha?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great. Thank you for taking the time out to speak to the listeners. Now, if you don't know who LaTasha is, you're probably not on TikTok and you're probably not on YouTube, okay? On TikTok, LaTasha has over 181,000 followers. And on YouTube, she has over 3,000 subscribers. Now, if you're not on TikTok or if you're not on YouTube, you don't know how difficult these numbers are to reach. So we wanted to bring her on so she can give us some of her plays. So how does it feel to be a TikTok superstar?
I didn't even realize it was a superstar, but okay. I think other people are more enamored by it than I am, more than anything, really. It's a nice feeling. It's really weird. That's the best way. I shouldn't say weird. I'll say surreal. It's very surreal. Now I go places and people may not recognize, they'll look at me like, but then when I start talking, they'll be like, "You're the lady," and I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of have a little unique voice, don't I?" Yeah. But it's nice. It's fun. It's a little. I'm very much so an introvert, so for me, it's a little like
back away slowly.
Right. It's like no sudden moves.
Right.
But it's nice. It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Awesome. Now how do you think you got there? Because what happens with a lot of these social medias is when there's a new social media, they want to get people onto their platform. So when they get people onto their platform, they'll give you more organic reach than say Facebook does right now because everybody's on there. So They want you to pay. So I guess, how do you think that you got to that number of 181,000 followers?
Being me, being authentic. I'm my goofy self all the time. If you've watched any of my videos, that's pretty much who I am all the time. I am a lover of people. I always want to try to help someone, which is why I'm always teaching per se. And just being myself, really. I usually will go on, or I say we because it's usually my husband and my son. They're going to interrupt me at some point at 8:30 Monday through Thursday. And it's more like a family show because we do a lot of different things. I try to celebrate people wins during our lives, and also even on my TikToks, you'll see the families that are posted. If you're in the live and you share some good news, I don't care if your credit score went up 3 or 4 points. We have a song for that. Everybody in the family, we all congratulate and encourage one another. If someone gets their pre-approval letter, we play "Moving On Up." Remember that song, the theme song? Right, because we've been moving on up from good times. So we'll play that. Everybody loves that. We'll do giveaways. When we do giveaways, I usually try to give something educational, whether it be my time. I'll give away my time because people like to have one-on-one meetings where we'll go through their whole profile. I'll give away educational books. I'll give away books about credit, home buying, self-improvement. Anything that's going to help the person or anyone grow, I'm always for it. So I think that's what it is. People want to know. And the fact that I'm so open with giving information kind of like draws people to me, I think. That's my opinion.
Okay. I did look at your website and I did see a tab for credit restoration. So I got to ask, as far as your channel, is it real estate and credit? Do you fuse those two?
I
some of the information?
do. Honestly, I try to encompass the entire home buying process, not just for the point of getting approval. Once you're approved, really a lot of the hard work has already been done. So I try to
Mhm.
teach people how to get prepared for a pre-approval. You have to go through the steps of credit and working on your finances and making a healthy financial lifestyle change. A lot of people I talk about all the time go on a crash diet financially, where they'll just say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do this," and then but they haven't learned the lesson on how to make the good financial decisions to be able to not only get in a home but stay in a home, because people will oftentimes revert back to those shopping habits once they get
Mhm.
into a home, and then they go from being a homeowner to the home owning them, and it becomes an obligation versus, a joyful situation. So for me, it's a matter of teaching a person not only how to fix their credit, but also diagnosing where we made these errors, so how we can improve going forward into the future, not only into purchasing a home, because you may want to do other things. To me, getting your first property is just step one, right? You may
Okay.
want to go on and have investment properties. That initial property may turn into an investment property. So
Mhm.
I try to teach people to have a vision and not just sight. But in order for you to have a successful vision, you need to have a solid foundation. So I'd like to start off with the basics. Okay, like I use me for an example all the time. I'm very transparent. My parents didn't have credit. My parents didn't have money. So there's some things that they could not teach me. So these
Right.
are the things that I learned the hard way, like a lot of people in America, right? So we made these mistakes in college. How do we repair for them? How do we no longer hold ourselves hostage and allow these situations to hold us hostage? How do we repair our credit and move forward, not only in the home buying process, but for life? And sometimes, I have people who will tell me, well, I don't make enough income. Okay, well, maybe we need to make some career changes. Let's
Right.
talk about what you mentioned earlier. I've talked several times about being a virtual assistant. You say you have a VA. So
Yes.
I talk to people all the time about becoming a notary signing agent. I talk about, okay, you want to be a real estate agent? Are you sure you want to be out here in these streets selling houses? Because there's so much more to real estate. So I
Right.
try to give people different avenues to accomplish their goals.
So what it sounds like is that your channel isn't just a real estate channel per se, as far as okay, helping buyers and sellers. It sounds like more of a holistic approach, if
Right,
we're going to talk in doctor terms,
right.
versus okay, like you said, your finances, probably some budgeting in there,
Mhm,
and looking at the person's credit.
mhm.
Now, as far as credit, because I've seen realtors try to not fuse the two, but kind of put the realtor and the credit repair specialist kind of wear both hats. Um, is that something that you, I want to say, white label or pass to somebody, or the credit restoration you actually do yourself?
In the beginning, I actually did it myself because I had the time available. But now, since I have amassed such a following, I had to learn to release it. So I
Okay.
have partnered with an organization, and I do have my staff members here that in special situations, I'll work with them while they work with one of our clients. Especially if someone has a more of a challenging situation, like if they have something like a repo or a bankruptcy, those kind of things. I kind of like to I'm a control freak, so I kind of
Okay.
like
No, I
trying to
understand.
micromanage those things, because
Hmm.
for me, if I give you my word that I'm going to help you, then I need to be able
Right.
to help you.
Right.
So, but I have, partnered with another organization in order to help people get their credit together. And I like the organization because of the fact that they also teach. It's really important for me that people learn. Otherwise, it goes back to the Bible, right? If I teach a man to fish, he'll never go hungry. So I have to teach you. If I just do it for you, then I make you depending upon me to come back. That's not
Right.
my goal. I want to make you whole and self sufficient. So I do have an organization that also teaches and provides the letter, this, that, and the third. I also have, literature that I've published that helps people, that encompasses the letters and talks about the third party credit bureaus and all that other great jazz. as well as I have in-house staff who does help me with my special situations.
Okay, gotcha. Now, from your because I'm figuring that your biggest presence is on TikTok and YouTube as far as social media. Is that correct?
Yes. I think TikTok is the biggest. I think YouTube is second. Facebook maybe third, and Instagram fourth.
Okay. Now, how if you're looking at a pie chart, all right, how much of your business is actually coming from social media, do you think?
Probably. Okay, let's break this down a little bit more. As far as real estate and real estate sales, my real estate sales, actually, the local market, I would say 100% is referral based. Ironically, most people who know me don't really know about my social media life. They really don't.
Okay.
And when they find out, they're like, what? I
Right.
was like, yeah, y'all, other people think I'm silly too. But a lot, so I would say referral base is about, as far as social media, real estate directly, as far as land is involved, I would say about 75% of it is referral based. I would say 25% of it is social media. A lot of my social media things that go on as far as like buying and selling, a lot of it's referred out.
Okay.
Because there's only one person that can be in one place. So
Right.
I do have a great network of agents that I work with. And oftentimes I do visit. Like I remind myself of you ever seen HGTV where the guy, the millionaire guy who does like the lottery homes, how he'll visit and he'll show the homes, but he can't close because he's not licensed there. So he has to go to a local agent. That's kind of like what I do.
Okay.
Right?
And that's because you're getting so much attention. I mean, it's not specified. TikTok isn't specified to one region. So somebody reaches out to you from Philadelphia, and you call Khalid, and it's like, okay, hey, I got somebody for you.
So I will call you, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna be down on like Saturday or Sunday, so we can meet and speak with the client. Blah 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 blah. Do the handoff. I'm a micromanager. Don't forget. So I'm still checking in quite often between, the agent and my client. I never just blindly hand anybody off. I try to go to showings with my clients, even though you may be the agent. So
that's a long way from Philadelphia to Tallahassee.
But it goes back to, if I give you my word, if I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. So I don't have an issue with traveling to meet my clients, whether they are here in Florida or Philadelphia or California. It doesn't matter. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
And it's a tax write-off.
And it's a tax write-off, yes. But it's fun. Honestly, I don't really think about that. But anyway, that's just not
French
how my mind
benefits.
works. Honestly, it really doesn't. And so that's as far as the real estate portion of it. Now, as far as my credit restoration and my counseling, and all that great stuff that I do, that's 100% social media, right? I have my book. So really, revenue for me comes in digitally and physically. But more of my revenue honestly comes in from social media, because that's why I kind of spend the majority of my time. As far as like real estate, I like teaching. Don't tell nobody I said this.
Well, you can see it from your YouTube and from TikTok. I mean, if you're really looking at it, there's only a couple of facets of it as far as the genre of posts that you can make. One of them is education. The other one is entertainment. So if you love teaching, it probably shows, and that's why people are tuning in.
Right. I love the teaching more than I love being out. It's a full walk-in closet, and I really love teaching. I really love interacting with people more than anything. That's really my jam right there. That's it. I can spend an entire day in my office on Zoom, talking to people, educating them, going through step by step. Okay, let's look at this down payment assistance program. Okay, well, maybe we can do this. Well, let's explore this lender. That, and even in talking to agents about, okay, well, the first thing you need to do when you're meeting a client, the very first thing that you want to do is establish agency and and go through the steps of onboarding, how to onboard new clients and this, that, and the other. That is the part that really gets me going.
Kind of get you going. Now, are you, and I'm assuming here, but I'm guessing you're transferring that into, let's just talk about TikTok, into your TikToks. So how's your schedule? Are you doing 3 posts a day? And like, take me from where you started. When did you start TikTok?
Okay, I started TikTok, I want to say last January. No. It started, we're in 22, so it started in 20, the end of 20.
Okay.
This is how I got involved in social media. I'm part of a group that's called a Brown Girl Real Estate Agents, right? And there was a challenge where you had to do these things. I'm very competitive too, let me say that. So there was a challenge where you had to do these things, and based upon these things, you'll get points, right? I wanted to win. So I started TikTok because my son was on TikTok and he was watching it all the time. So I was like, okay, this is simple enough. And I did one video and people liked it. And I was like, it's gotta be a fluke, right? Like, gotta be a fluke. I've been on the struggle bus with Instagram forever. Gotta be a fluke. So
the struggle bus.
The struggle's real. The struggle is real over there on IG. Because on IG, it's like a different aesthetics. You got to be all glam and glitz and lifestyle. That's not really who I am. So I did another post and people liked it. So I was doing simple things in the beginning, like explaining real estate terms, basic education. It was basic, but I didn't realize people didn't know this. Right. So then I started talking about, then I thought it was, a fluke, right? So I started another social media page, which I need to get back to working on, a TikTok page, which is about disability because I am a master adjudicator, right? For Social Security disability. That's what I did for like 15 years. So I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about, on the page, I'm going to talk about disability. Will it work? Again. So I was like, that's suspicious. That's weird. So I went back to real estate and then my dad passed. So then I used it as an avenue to just work through those emotions and feelings and talking to people, and it still was working. So I was like, this ain't right. Like, why? What? But it was me being me and being open, right? So, and then I started, at first I wasn't reading, I didn't even know how to get to the comments, but then I started reading the comments, and the comments were, we love the fact that you're you, that you're transparent. And I was like, well, who else am going to be?
Now, are you talking about like when you're saying going through it, not going through it, but grieving?
Right.
Are you talking about this on TikTok, or are you just?
I was talking about. I would just do like the day in the life of a real estate agent. So I went, I did this, that, and I'll be like, wait, it was very difficult to put on this persona when inside I'm dying, right? And then people would be like, some people ask questions about real estate, and other people would be like, I understand because I had to go through the same thing. You'll be okay. So, and then I built a community of people who want to know about real estate, but also people who realized that I was a real estate agent going through life, right? So they were able to connect with the fact that here I am, a person just like you are, who has to do a job per se, or work in a career and still have to go through this situation, right? So, and it kind of evolved from there. And as I got better, meaning started healing, I talked less and less about the grief and more about the real estate, right? And so then people would start asking questions, specific questions. So I started building my content. And this is a note for people. Build your content based around the questions people are asking you. You don't necessarily have to always, do like where they reply in the video. Those take off pretty well. But usually if one person has a question, other people are thinking it too. And they just have not communicated it or figured out how to communicate it. So as I was reading these questions, and it dawned on me, people really don't understand how real estate works, right? And they really don't understand the different things that are available to help them get into a home. Because 95, even if you go through the comments, 95.5% of my comments are, how do I get started? How do I get started? What do I do? People don't know the basics, right? And so it was like, okay, how do I fix this? So I started building my content around, how do I fix this? How do I educate people to get down to the basics, right? So that's what I started working on, right? And so then I started reading my comments again. People would always say that, oh, when can I buy a home? I filed bankruptcy. Content right there.
Okay.
Right? 2 years after discharge. Content. But something that's simple that was common knowledge to me isn't common knowledge to the common man. That's what I started realizing. So I started reading, and that's where I pull my content from. If someone says, okay, well, my credit is bad, I've been working on it for the last 2 years, so I haven't had any late payment, but my score isn't high enough. Well, I would read that, and in my mind, I would say, well, maybe they qualify for the NACA program. 0 down payment, 0 closing costs. It's a conventional loan backed by Bank of America, but it's not based upon credit. I did that one video. Oh my God, it spread like wildfire. Because some people heard of it, but majority of the people didn't. They didn't even know that something like that even exists for them, right? And then when you talk to other agents, I had other agents asking me questions about how does the program work. Everybody thinking that they had to be a NACA agent, meaning work for NACA. No, you just go ahead, one class on Tuesday, now you're certified. People seem like it's so difficult. No, you just use their vendors. They give you a list of vendors.
Now, are you, when you're answering these questions, because of course on TikTok, I mean, as of now, you only got 3 minutes, and some of the subjects that you're broaching take explanation. So are you doing 3-minute segments on there, or are you doing lives on it?
I would do a TikTok of about 15 seconds to, I would do a TikTok on it, highlighting boom, 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 the top points on it. And then I would do a short on YouTube. And I refer you to my YouTube channel to get more information about it, okay? So that's one, you're moving your subscriber from TikTok to YouTube, right? Because on YouTube, get more views, get more quan. Right? Then during my lives, I will go through the most frequently asked questions, right?
Okay.
And because my lives will have so many people, I only answer 2 or 3 questions per person. Otherwise, somebody would think it's a consultation and they just want to sit there and dominate the whole time.
Right.
And then I refer them, okay, since you have these questions to this level, and we might need to do a step-by-step Zoom where I actually go to the website and show you. Now, not only have I moved you from TikTok, I've moved you into a client base.
Okay.
Right. So now for a consultation,
the funnel
fee attached. Right. So it's the funnel. Right. It's all in, how you move things to make sure that you're servicing the client, but also you're staying within your brand and making sure that you go from not making revenue to making revenue, right? Because if you work the 9 to 5, somebody will pay you for your time. So you still have to be paid for your time. Right? So that's the same concept and how you would do that. So that's another tip, right? You can give a blueprint. People feel like, oh, you're telling them everything. No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you a blueprint. I'm giving you a map. But you still need me to get to the path.
Right.
If that makes sense. Right? So when I do my TikToks, it's a high level overview. Boom, 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 boom. Start off with a hook. Gotta catch them. Right? Otherwise.
So when you, as far as your YouTube video, are you making different content for your YouTube video? I guess how's that synergy as from your Facebook to your YouTube to your TikTok? Are you making different content for all of them, or are you repurposing?
Well, what I do is I repurpose and I make different content. Because one content piece can actually be dissected into many different things, right? So, like I talked about the NAC program, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one little thing, I can slice it and dice it in so many different ways. We can talk about, I may go on my YouTube channel and I may walk you through the steps of how to sign up to have your first, appointment with NACA. Then I may go on the Facebook page. I may talk about, what do they mean about, because it's not based upon your credit, it's based upon your character. So I might dive into what the definition of based upon your character may be. Then I might go on IG and I might talk about a completely different aspect of these are the things top things that you need to know about entering the program, blah, 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 blah. So you can dissect it into many different pieces. The same way you could talk about the USDA and you could say, okay, it may be a zero down payment and it may say rural areas, but what exactly do they mean by rural areas? We can talk about that. Then we could break it down into, what's the difference in between USDA, USDRD direct. We could talk about that. We could talk about how to purchase or how to build a home, a new build with USDA. So you can slice that puppy into a thousand things. But you can start on TikTok because you only got a little moment of time, right? Because the longer videos don't get pushed out as much as a shorter video, right?
Okay.
So you can
meaning like if I do a 10-second video versus a 3-minute video,
right? So
okay.
Right. So here's the things that I've noticed work best on TikTok. Things. 1. Talking, right? So when you're talking, people want to hear you talk. Like some videos where I'll just point, they'll do okay. I might get 1,000, 2,000 views, right? But I know if I'm going to go for a big bang where I want like 10,000 views, I need to vary it up. And here's what I mean by varying it up. 1, I need to communicate. First, I need to lead with a hook. So let's take USDA. This is a quick, pay attention, y'all, because it's going to seem crazy, but it works, right? So I'm trying to figure out where the camera is. Okay. Hey, did you know you could buy a house with 0 down payment? You ever heard of USDA loan? Flip it. I'm going to come in from a different angle. Flip it. I'm going to come in from a different angle. The more you chop it up, it keeps the person interested because the mind is like, well, what's she going to do next? What's happening next?
Okay.
Right? You can do something like works every time. Start off with a hook. Do something like that. Not nothing too dramatic, right? But you're just coming in from different angles. You might cut it where it just looks different. So it tricks the mind, right?
Okay.
Where you can have like the green screen in the background. And you can like, if you have like an iPhone, you can do screen record, right? Just record you go into the website and expand it where it says USDA. So they can know what it looks like when they go there. They know that it's in the right spot, right? And you can do something like, see, USDA. Okay, if you click here, it's catching the eye and you're giving them instruction. So like you're looking at me like, you know what they're doing?
Same thing.
It's your watch time. And if you have it in a shorter time frame, you know what also happens? They have to watch it again.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they missed something. So it increases your watch time. That increases your plays. So it's you have to know the rules of the game in order to play the game.
Right.
And that's
now, how did you learn them? Is that something that you just came by watching other TikTokers? Did you take a class or?
I actually have a certificate in social media marketing. I took a marketing course because I figured if I'm going to do something, I might as well do it with excellence.
X.
Right?
That.
My thing is be a hunter of excellence. So if I'm going to do it, I got to do it with excellence. I can't just half-ass it. Right? I have to be great if I'm going to do it. So, and that's just my level of crazy too. That's a takeaway.
Okay. Education. Now let's transition over to YouTube, because YouTube has a whole set of different rules. You have something that it's a platform that's intent based, meaning that people are going on there searching. It's the second largest search tool other than Google. So getting up to 3,000 subscribers is not a easy task. I guess, how long have you been on YouTube?
Maybe 8 or 9 months. Maybe
8 or 9 months.
Yeah, not that long.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Not that long.
Now, what type of content are you putting on there? Kind of the same thing that you already talked about, just a longer form?
The things I put on there, I do a longer form. I also do segments on there of about like 3 minutes, short, they call shorts. Because some topics don't require for you to talk for a whole hour. A lot of it is lives. I model it as my free video library is what it is. So a lot of people are like, okay, I may have missed your live where you talked about anything, right? Where you may have talked about I can purchase a home with $100 down payment. People may want to know more about that and how do you do that, right? So I may have did a live on it, or I may have did a short on it, and I'll say, well, go to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe so you can get more information. Now, besides the YouTube, when you want exclusive content from me, I also have Patreon, which is a subscriber-based program or platform where you pay a monthly fee, but that you're getting different, more in-depth information there, right? So if I'm hosting like a webinar, I did a home buyers webinar, so that's on Patreon. So if you're wanting to get that information, you would subscribe there and you will have unlimited access to that. And it also comes along with the digital software that I created to go, well, not software, the digital information that I created to go along with it as well. So there are different avenues in which I approach my digital marketing. Like I'm going to start doing where I have exclusive training just for real estate agents. Well, we'll talk about things like social media. We'll talk about search engine optimization, which is a lot of things. Search engine optimization ties a lot into the YouTube. And what's the key phrase and keywords to draw audience to you? What are they looking for? How do you find these phrases to be connected to them? So when people search that, you're going to pop up organically in their search. So that's going to be something different. That's going to be just for agents. Now, I do mentor agents where I do teach them this. And I also do mentor people in business where they want to know, okay, hey, how do I create this organic reach, and how do I mimic what you've done? Well, okay. So that's a completely different situation. Now, don't ask me when I'm going to start this for agents. I don't know. I'm working on it. Okay. Only 24 hours in a day, and I got to sleep. Okay.
Right. Now, tell us about your business. Are you a solo agent? You got a team?
Well, I'm with Excellence Realty, and I do have a team. We have about 6 here locally, and 3 or 4 down south.
Okay, you said down south?
South Florida. Sorry.
Okay, South Florida. I was going to say, it's all down south to us. So
yeah, sorry. So it's South Florida, like Melbourne, Miami, Tampa, Central South. I'll say that.
Okay, gotcha. Are you doing this all by yourself? Do you have is it all with your phone? Or do you have a production team? Are you sending this out to be edited?
Well, I do have a production team. They Rod is one of my producers. who produces and handles everything as far as like my YouTube, Patreon. Rod does all of that. If you wanted his contact information, I can give it to you.
I was going to say, is he a local guy, a Fiverr guy, or?
Actually, he's locally here. And okay, well, actually, Rod is actually a music producer. Actually, he's actually a music producer who does social media as well. I kind of like strong armed him into it.
Okay.
Is really what happened. And then he was like, wait, I like this, but wait, I'm good at it. He has a very large client base himself, and he does produce music. So he's very big in the music industry as well. I think his stage name is Captain Capo, I think.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I call him by his mama named him. His mama named him Roger.
His government name.
Yeah. So I call him Roger. But he does my YouTube, my Patreon. He gives me that lovely feedback that we all need.
Okay. Now, is that you just doing it on your phone and sending him the content, and then he takes it and then chops it up?
Yeah, he takes it, he chops it up, he dissects it and puts it back together. And he complains constantly that I do it on my phone because he's like, upgrade. Right. And I also have my producer of my podcast. I have 2 podcasts. I have the Luxurious Life Real Estate podcast. And I also have my new podcast, which is called the Pretty Dangerous Podcast, where I have another producer for that, and he's Stedman, and we stream on all platforms with Who They Want. That's the name of it.
Who They Want. I've seen that. Yeah. Okay.
So I have those 2 people who kind of like take care of my media stuff. And I have the person who really like he manages me, unfortunately, now I'm thinking about it. His name is Justin Salisbury.
Okay, you got a little team back there.
Yeah, I do. I have a little team. Justin manages my entire world. He does.
Okay.
And he's actually my nephew, so he gets to talk to me the way other people can't. And I have my VA, LaTasha. So I do have like a little team.
Okay.
Of people who. And my husband.
Now, did you start out that way? Did you start out with that team, or you just got to a certain point and was like, okay, this is overwhelming?
I got to a certain point and I was like, okay, this is overwhelming. And actually, they really reached out to me because they were actually following, well, everybody but Rod. They reached my nephew, so I was drowning. So he jumped in and he was like, you don't know what you're doing. Give me this. And Stedman, who is Who They Want, he followed me and he was like, we need to get you on a podcast. We need to do this. We need to do that. Like you're not moving at your full capacity. And then I met Rod, who is actually a family member that I didn't even know I was related to. And when I met him and we were talking, and he was like, girl, what are you doing with your life? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, let me fix you.
Right.
You can do this better. I was like, well, I'm just on TikTok having fun. It's fun. He was like, fun? Do you realize what you're doing? I was like, what am I doing? He was like, first of all, you have 100,000 followers. Do you know what that means? I was like, that just means people just like clicking it because they want to. He was like, right. Are you on drugs? Like, no. He was like, do you know how hard that is?
Right.
I was like,
facts.
It's hard. He's like, oh my God, you're a blonde. I thought you were smart. Really smart. So that's kind of like how they happened. They kind of like took over my life. And like Rod handles everything, the affiliate marketing, all that stuff. He's like, go do this. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Nice. Now, so on every show, each guest, I asked them to give me a play that any realtor is looking at this video, they can kind of, or this podcast, they can kind of take, hear or listen. They can kind of take those steps and kind of implement them right after the show. So I guess what play would you give a realtor, whether that's TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, as far as for them to grow their business?
As far as growing your business on TikTok, my number one suggestion is to be yourself, right? At some point, we all suffer from imposter syndrome, whether we do it intentionally or unintentionally. We're watching other people and we're trying to figure out what formula will work, what formula works best for them, and can we recreate it? But in the recreation process, we lose what makes us unique. So what may work for me in my deliverance may not work for you in your deliverance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So stay true to yourself. Now, the techniques, as far as how I was talking about entering and using the green screen and things of that nature, some people will tell you to niche down. That helps. But at the end of the day, be who you are. If you're not a person who gets up every day and feel like you have to be dressed up and you're not that person, but you're putting on for TikTok or for anything, it's going to show. It's going to show. And you can only pretend or wear drag for so long, right? You're going to have to be who you are. So that's the number one thing. Remembering to be authentically you. Because what can happen is, for me, I'm me. I'm very black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, right? But then I'll go on TikTok and I'll see other agents. Like there's one agent, she has a large following, but she has a very foul mouth.
Mm.
For me, that's a massive turnoff. Like I might curse, but it's not gonna be like every 4 or 5.
Right.
Like, it's not cute. Now you may be. Once you get in front of your clients, you may be a professional, but what if I meet you here first?
Right.
Is that who I really want to meet? Right. That's the question. Because a lot of people, when you're dealing with social media, this is how they're meeting you first. Right. So, and if you're not a person who, like I said, is going to get dressed up every day and wear a 3-piece suit, and if you know that you're not floating around these $1 million homes, but you're floating around, $150K, then show that, because as your business grows, then so will your clientele and a type of clients. And then you'll get to the point where you get to choose whom you do and do not want to have as a client, right? So we all, start from the bottom and we're good way to the top. So it's up to you. So I would say number one thing is being authentically yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to model some things after other people, but make sure you're staying true to you. Always stay true to you. And this is real estate. We've probably pretty much talked about everything there is to talk about. So don't feel like, oh, they've already talked about FHA loans, or oh, they've already covered conventional loans. Okay. Guess what? I may cover it in one way, be completely different from you. Okay. You may walk up in front of a house and pretend like you're walking down the street and go, I wonder if I can buy that with a conventional loan. Well, my credit score is at 640 and I can afford it. Your deliverance may be completely different.
Right.
So don't forget that. Another thing is, don't overthink it. Like I just gave you an idea that popped off the top of my head. Don't overthink it. Have fun, right? If you're riding around town and you're thinking, damn, that would be a good investment property. That's content. Pull out your phone. Why would be a good investment property?
And explain it.
Talk about it. Right. You can dissect that across all different types of mediums. So 95.5% of the time, if you're thinking about it, somebody else is thinking about it too.
What I've seen is that when people do content on social media, of course, they're looking for buyers and sellers. But sometimes they get renters. Actually, they get more renters than buyers and sellers. What do you do in that case if you do get a renter?
Then you need to, if you're a person who deal with rentals, then go right here. I don't deal with rentals. Right. That's a personal preference for me, but I don't charge for lists. If somebody asks me for a list of rental properties, I'll just email it to them. But that's also because I don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth for it. So That's me. But if you are constantly getting bombarded by a certain type, whether it's if you want to be a listing agent, but you're always getting buyers, if you are want to deal with just buyers and you're always getting renters, then that means that you need to change your messaging. You need to go back and figure out your messaging because something's coming across to people that says that you're able to do this, or this is something that you do, or this is a part of your business. So if that's not something that you need to go ahead, you need to look at exactly your deliverance and how you're delivering the information to people that that this is their takeaway, right? I get calls from renters. Most of the people I get calls from renters are people who know me, and they're like, "Hey, Tasha, I know you're an agent. Can you help me find a rental?" I don't know about that.
Craigslist.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna tell you Craigslist. I'm gonna tell you Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you
Zillow.
Zillow. Right. Because I don't know. I'll send you a list from the MLS.
Right.
But like, I manage properties, but I don't manage like apartment complexes and stuff like that. I'm not really managing properties. Usually we do home restoration. So I may come across a rental that way because I have a team that goes out and repair homes and things of that nature. So I got a lot of different things that are going on, as you can see, America.
I see multiple streams of income. That's what I'm talking about. Multiple streams of income.
So let me tell y'all something before we wrap up. See, you say streams of income.
Yes.
Right? I don't want you to think of yourself as a stream. You know why? Streams dry up. They're shallow. You're a river.
Facts.
You're a river. You're a river raging into the ocean. So you need to have multiple rivers that's feeding into the ocean, right? So you want it always constantly raging, constantly flowing, no blockades. Okay? When you're a real estate agent, you can do managing. You can have a separate business, whereas you can have surveyors on your team. Mm-hmm. You can have appraisals that work under you. Like I have a virtual TC business for transaction coordinators. Okay. You can have buyer's agents. You can have people who, open doors for you. That can be a full-time job in of itself for somebody or a couple of different people. You can have the business whereas you have different members on your team that you can get jobs where they can go ahead and put out signs for agents and take up signs for agents. Like for me, I have people on my team that specifically look for properties, right? So you have to have a global view at what you're doing. Don't have tunnel vision just about buying and selling because the market eventually will change. It eventually will change. So you have to have a diversified portfolio of different things that you can do in different ways of making money. If anything, I would say to all people, all agents, or anyone from anywhere, figure out what your digital product is, right? Because once you make it, it's one and done, and it can generate revenue forever.
Right.
Forever. So don't just have tunnel vision, right? You got to think bigger.
As far as buying and selling homes. Yep. A lot of realtors do. They just look at buying and selling homes and that's just kind of it. And anything outside of that, it seems like they're paralyzed to do. Well, I don't want to keep you too long past our time. I do want to thank you. You dropped a lot of gems as far as social media and just business just in general. So why don't you let them know where they can find you at on social media?
Everywhere. I'm everywhere. No. On TikTok, I am the Lux, Lux Life, Life Realtor. On Instagram, I'm the Lux Life Realtor. I'm not very creative, y'all. On Facebook, the Lux Life Realtor. My name is LaTasha McDowell on YouTube. So basically, if you Google LaTasha McDowell, I'm going to pop up everywhere. And if you follow me, I thank you for following me. I thank you for spending this time with me. Because time is an invaluable product that you cannot get back. I appreciate you. I thank you for deeming me important enough to listen to me talk for a whole hour. So I thank you for that. And if you guys are so kind to follow and subscribe to my different channels, hopefully you'll continue to learn, and feel free to reach out to me at LMcDowell at LaTashaMcDowell.com. My website is LaTashaMcDowell.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. Tune in. We're going to be coming to you each week, bringing you guys superstars from social media, where they teach us real estate agents how to level up our business using social media. All right, guys, we out.